Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a handful of summer clone fragrances. Let's go ahead and get started, and first on the list is Fragrance World's Invicto Victorious Elixir. And this is their take on Invictus Victory Elixir by Rabanne, or formerly known as Paco Rabanne. What you get out of this fragrance is a very nice aromatic fragrance with lavender, some spices, pepper, and vanilla, but it also has kind of like a unique creamy coconut vibe underneath it, even though that's not listed as one of the notes. This does have some warmer notes to it, like patchouli and incense. So while you can certainly wear this all day during the summer, for me this is a nighttime fragrance because I still get that kind of tropical vibe out of it, but it does turn into a very fresh and aromatic, almost like a lavender, coconut, and vanilla fragrance. And it does have a little bit of warmth and spice to it, so I lean for nighttime wear for this summertime fragrance. The cost on this is around $30 to $35. And performance on this is moderate. I get about 6 hours of longevity and decent projection for about an hour and a half, which is kind of what I usually get out of the $30 price tag clone fragrances. Next up on the list, we have Platine Blanc by French Avenue, which is a collaboration with Aromatix. So this fragrance is what a lot of people say is a clone of Torino 21 by Xerjoff. To me, it's more like an inspiration. I don't see this as a direct dupe of that fragrance, but definitely the same DNA, the same vibe. What makes this such a great summer fragrance is that opening of fresh mint and lemon and lime in the opening. A lot of people compare this to a mojito, which is basically just a cocktail with alcohol, sugar, mint, lime, and tonic water, which is very much what this fragrance smells like. It's fresh, it's zingy, it's zesty. It will literally perk you up. The opening is insanely realistic. It's like you take fresh mint leaves from the garden, crush them in your hands, and drop them in a glass of sparkling water. Amazing, amazing opening. The dry down turns a little bit softer with those citrus notes and almost like a creamy, musky fragrance. One of my favorites so far this year. Performance on this is great. I get 8+ hours. Projection is also really good. I get a good 2 to 3 hours of really nice projection out of this fragrance. I think price was $40 to $50. I can't remember how much I paid for this, but very much worth it. Next up, we are going to go with Maison Alhambra's Jean Lowe Azure, and this is a dupe of Louis Vuitton's Afternoon Swim. And the big selling point on this is honestly the value that you get out of this fragrance. I think I paid $20 for this fragrance. The original from Louis Vuitton is over $300. So to me, that's where the value lies with this fragrance. Overall, it's a very simple, linear fragrance. It's citruses like orange and bergamot with a little bit of spice with ginger and ambroxan. Very simple scent. It just works in high heat. It's just a very clean and refreshing citrus fragrance. I spray this stuff all the time. So I recently went on a cruise, and this is one of the fragrances that I took. I wore this a ton. Simple, clean, inoffensive, amazing scent. Biggest downside of this fragrance is longevity. I get tops 4 hours of longevity. Projection is 30 to 45 minutes. Again, I understand that with this fragrance, and that's how I use it, knowing that I'm just not going to walk into a room and get noticed from this fragrance, and that's okay. But again, I don't really get a lot of longevity and projection out of the $300 original either. Next up, we're going to go with another new release, and this one is by Afnan, and this is Rare Reef, and this is their interpretation of Louis Vuitton's Pacific Chill. The perfumer for this is Lucas Swizak, and he did an amazing job with this fragrance as far as getting it something like Pacific Chill, but putting his own twist on it. So this is a very citrus heavy with a slight mint underneath it, and it's got a really nice apricot note underneath, which to me is what I really like about this fragrance and why I enjoy it so much, just like Pacific Chill. It does have a lot of black currant in it as well, and this one is a more masculine and spicy take on the original, but nonetheless this stuff works. Very versatile for summertime, works in high heat, works at nighttime. Just a very inoffensive, pleasing, incredible smelling fragrance. Performance on this is not amazing, at least off of my skin. With about 10 sprays, I get around 6 hours of longevity out of this. Not terrible, and projection is pretty good for about an hour or so. I can't remember how much I paid for this. I think it was $40 to $50. So for the price point, definitely glad I picked it up. Overall, just an amazing scent, and I like the direction that they took with this fragrance, kind of using that Pacific Chill DNA but making it their own version. Next up we have from Lattafa, Najdia Intense, and this is their take on JPG's Lowe Paradise Garden. This is great for summer because it has a really nice, sweet, fruity opening with a touch of mint. I get some pineapple, apple, and a touch of mint and spice underneath. It does have somewhat of a tropical pina colada vibe in the opening, but because it has a lot of other notes mixed in, it's not some sickly, sweet, synthetic pina colada smell that just wouldn't work as a fragrance. It's a little bit different in the opening to me than the original. But once it dries down, it turns into more of a Paradise Garden style fragrance. It turns a little bit more green with what's like a coconut water or a coconut type scent to it, with a little bit of woods and musk underneath. Overall, just a great scent for summer because of the lightly sweet pineapple tropical drink vibe you get in the opening, and then kind of the green, watery, fresh aromatic scent you get once it dries down, which is more similar to Lowe. As far as performance goes, I get about 6 to 8 hours of longevity out of this, and pretty good projection for around an hour or so. The price point on this is really good at around $20. Sometimes you can find it for just under $20. So for the price point, definitely not a bad buy. All right, now we have Turathi Electric by Afnan, and this is their inspiration of Blue Talisman by Ex Nihilo. What you get out of this fragrance is a very fresh, airy, watery, citrus style fragrance. In the opening, you get a really nice, juicy pear note, along with some other citrus notes like orange and bergamot, and underneath that is a really soft floral note. But I definitely wouldn't consider this a floral fragrance. I am not a fan of floral notes, and I really love the way this stuff smells. The dry down is like a creamy, musky vanilla scent with some citrus notes underneath it. Overall, just a very pleasing and inoffensive scent. I would say this leans definitely unisex, and this is not a masculine fragrance. And nor would I really consider it a feminine fragrance. I will say overall that the fragrance is very light, clean, and airy. I do not get a lot of projection off of this. As far as performance, I get around 4 hours with 10 or 12 sprays, and just really light projection for about an hour, and then it becomes a skin scent. Overall, the performance is on the low to moderate end. Having said that, I really love the fragrance, and I've been wearing it a lot since I got it. And next up we have Imagine by Dua Fragrances, and this is their take on Louis Vuitton Imagination. I'll be honest with you, when I grab these fragrances as the ones that I've used most this summer, I don't think I realize how many Louis Vuitton clones that I've been using. But nonetheless, here we are. So Imagine is their take on Imagination, which this is basically a citrus heavy fragrance with a little bit of spice and black tea. The opening is very crisp, citrusy, and clean, almost like a very clean, soapy fragrance. If you can imagine what the best smelling hand soap in the world would smell like, it would smell just like this. This definitely leans unisex and is not a masculine scent by any means. I don't really get that good tea note that I get out of the original, but nonetheless, very fresh, citrus heavy, clean, soapy, extremely easy scent to wear, very versatile. I get compliments when I wear this. It's just a very inviting and extremely inoffensive fragrance, and no one's going to have a problem with how you smell when you're wearing this bomb. All right, and last but definitely not least, at least in my opinion, is Afnan's Supremacy Collector's Edition. And this is their take or their inspiration from Absolute Aventus by Creed. So this is similar to the Aventus or Absolute Aventus style fragrance. It has that kind of Aventus DNA to it with, oak moss, with pineapple, birch, and oak moss. But it kind of does its own thing here, at least in my opinion. So the opening of this is very juicy and sweet with bergamot and pineapple. It is just a nice blast of fruits that are really sweet and juicy. Underneath that, it does have a little bit of a floral component with some orange blossom and other clean florals underneath it, which kind of gives it that difference, at least to me. Overall, just a really well-made fragrance for the $50, $45 price range. And it's a very versatile fragrance for the summertime. Works in the high heat during the day, works at night. So once it dries down, it turns into that Absolute Aventus style or Aventus style DNA. It's got the oak moss, the musk, the ambroxan, and that smoky birch. But it still has that light fruity sweetness with a touch of florals on top of it. Overall, just an amazing fragrance and one of my favorites during the summer. Performance on this is also really good. On my skin, I get about 8 or 10 hours, and projection is great for 2+ hours on this. Overall, really hard to complain at the $45 or $50 price point for the performance on this. Overall, just a really solid fragrance and not really getting the hype that it deserves, at least in my opinion. Alright guys, that's it. If you enjoy Middle Eastern fragrances, clone fragrances, designers, new releases, do me a solid and hit that like and subscribe button to help the channel grow.